back to episode 3 with Real Talk with Jess and Jen. Just a reminder, I am Jess, and
I'm
how are
Jen.
you? Oh, okay, good.
Good.
All
And we have
right.
Jodi here today. Dr. Jodi, another J. Was
That's
not
right.
intentional. Yeah, this is our first one in a few weeks, Jess. We kind of finished out the summer. Summer was busy, and now here
Yes.
we are in September. Too warm in most of our locations, I think. Not
I mean,
fall
I like
weather
it.
Yeah.
yet.
So.
Well, let's not wish the cold in. I'm okay with the warm for a little bit yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Mhm.
You're one or the other. You either love the cold or love the heat. So it looks like I'm in the minority. Um, But like I said, we got Dr. Jodi here. If y'all remember, we are ready to talk about, I think, Caravel's latest and greatest, the BCBA Rise program.
So thank you, Jodi, for being here. And Jody's here to answer a bunch of our questions that we have about this new program. Everyone's excited about it. Always when there's a lot of excitement, there tends to be a lot of questions
Mhm.
associated with the excitement as well. So hopefully we're here today to answer the majority of questions that are being asked. And like always, this is just one form of communication, but definitely other opportunities to ask questions and learn along the way as well. But thank you for taking some time and dedicating it to us today, and then also
Absolutely.
those of you who are joining in today as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Dr. Jodi, let's get started just by learning a little bit about you, who you are, what you do here
Hmm.
at Caravel.
Okay, yeah. I am our VP of Clinical Excellence, and I support our training and development. And that is for all of our clinical teammates, and really want to make sure that, we're really bringing our vision to life, that we are creating this pathway for anyone that walks through our doors. They have the opportunity to not only be welcomed and feel like they're belonging, but have a path for growth and development, and help them, just really aspire to who they want to be.
I love that.
I love,
And you've been at Caravel a long time.
I have, yeah.
How long? What anniversary are we
Um,
celebrating?
wait, what'd you say?
I said, what anniversary are we celebrating this
Oh,
year?
anniversary, 12 years.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Been a
awesome.
long time. I've been
Yeah.
able to see a lot of evolution, have a lot of learnings along the way, but see so many people grow and develop during that time too. So, kind of an awesome lens to have.
Yeah, maybe we should do an episode on that sometime, Jess, like Caravel through the years, and we can have Dr. Jodi and some of
Ah.
the,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Uh, Are we gonna see what pictures we can scrounge up too to
and find the
Oh,
associate with
pictures.
that?
well, not sure
That'd be
about
awesome.
that part, but maybe. Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
Probably some
funny.
floating around. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, so VP, training and development, kind of leads right
Mhm.
into our first question, Dr. Jodi here. What was the main goal in creating BCBA Rise program?
Yeah. It really goes back to, again, the vision, which, sounds like we're behavior analysts, right? Like sometimes that sounds a little fluffy,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I do think that it actually has some meaning behind it. And I've been able to see how Caravel takes a vision and puts that into action. And I mean, that is where this is coming from, is how can we really focus on the development for our people and give them that career path. Um, so I mean, that's really the main goal. There's been, I think, a lot of influence from our teams and a lot of collaboration as well. So, talking with our BCBAs about what would best prepare you in your learning, or what do you wish you had had in your supervision experiences, and what do you think it takes to prepare somebody to not just pass the exam, but actually start their career
Mhm.
and then grow in that. And we heard a lot of things like leadership is one. focuses on actually what you do, like creating a treatment plan. A lot of people were missing that in their
Yeah.
experiences. And it's a huge to do that our BCBAs are engaged with. So really taking those voices and, putting that into a plan so that people are not only have the knowledge, but they actually have the skills. And um, when you get that BCBA, you're ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's awesome. It reminds me, Jess, of the first episode that we had. I think it was the first when we talked about kind of where we started and how we got here.
Mm.
And it's
Mhm.
just, you look back and you're like, oh, this would have been better. Oh, I would have
Yeah,
been, like a better clinician had I done this, or, had I been given this opportunity. And so I think that's kind of how I envision Rise, is just really solid, cohesive plan of like, this is our ideal, like I said, pathway to getting your BCBA.
yeah,
So it's so
yeah.
exciting to be able to offer it.
It is.
And would you say through this too, it's some of the feedback is probably based on what people are not learning at their
Mhm.
university and programs, right? So, I hear it all of the time and in across like my friends, I have different occupations too, right? Like we go to universities and different programs and expecting that they're going to teach us every single thing about the field and about the opportunities that you're going to come into contact with. And it really isn't all of that, right? So it's also some of the things that we're teaching in
Mhm.
BCBA Rise are the things that are missing from
Mm.
maybe the programs as well. And so like what I'm hearing you say is like leadership. A
Mhm.
BCBA program is not going to be focusing on a lot of leadership, or when you're moving into a CD role as well, or you don't have a lot of business, or other BCBAs are opening up their own businesses. What they don't have any business education. So I think it's a lot of those pieces that maybe are missing from different programs that we're able to capture from the feedback of others and develop that into this program. Is that kind of what you're
Absolutely. Yeah, totally based off of what do you need to do in the job that you're not getting in hopefully you're getting some, but the purpose of the graduate work is to focus on that task list, the concepts in the exam, give you that background knowledge. The purpose of your field work experience and what we're building in BCBA Rise is putting that into action. So, the things you mentioned, leadership, communication, that is a big theme that you will see as a main competency area that carries out throughout Rise. We want to build those skills and give people the opportunity to practice them, because those kind of things, like, you can talk about in theory, but really get better with practice. And that's the kind of, opportunity we're creating.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
awesome. Okay, second question. Are you
This is my
ready?
favorite one.
Oh, and I
Okay,
get to
let's hear it.
ask it. Oh my God. So how is success measured for participants and for the program overall?
Oh, that is a good question. Um, I might get like a little bit nerdy with this answer. When I was first coming into training and development, I had to kind of learn about training and development from outside of behavior analysis, right? Um, we know about performance development, we know about shaping behavior, but I hadn't learned, well, how do you work within a training program at a company that has professionals in different areas? And just a little bit about me, my husband at the time was in human resources. And so when I had come to him and told him that I was going to be working on a training and development project, he's like, well, that's interesting. That's usually human resources. I'm like, well, that's interesting because we typically help shape behavior. So I was like, different perspectives, same kind of thing, still focused, motivated to help people learn and grow and develop. But it really inspired me to, okay, let's look beyond behavior analysis. So had, kind of dove in and learned about adult learning theories and principles. And getting back to your question about measuring results, looked at
Yeah.
the Kirkpatrick model. And so there's different areas within that. There's not going to be just one measure because it's really a balance. You want to make sure the quality's there. You also want to make sure the efficiency's there.
Mm.
So one piece that we'll measure is satisfaction. So there's going to be a lot of survey opportunity. There's going to be a lot of asking the trainees going through to tell us, like, are we making the mark? Are you enjoying your experience? Are we making this better for you? And how can we make it better?
Yeah.
So that's one, satisfaction. Another is going to be the learning side. So are you learning what you need to? Like
Mhm.
at the end of the day, we want people to pass the BCBA exam, right? Like we do want them to be ready for that. So looking at that pass rate will help us measure learning, and that'll be our second measure. The third is application. So can you take what you've learned and can you perform it? Because those are two kind of different things, right? Understanding, but then doing is another. So
Yeah.
we'll have different competency measures and making sure that people are prepared again to put that into action. Like that was for me when I was a new BCBA, like kind of the big leap is like, okay, I've learned this in theory, but now I got to do it. Um, so we really want people to feel prepared with that application. So we'll measure competency. And then, all of this too needs to be balanced with efficiency. Like people aren't joining this program to stay in it forever, right? You want to get that BCBA, you're
Yeah.
excited, you want to get through it. Like, let me get through the classes, let me get these hours. Like, I'm ready to take this on. So we'll also have an efficiency measure, like look at how long is it taking people to get through the program. So if we are able to do all of these things, keep those different areas balanced, that's going to help us measure success.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It was a great answer for a great question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great question.
Great question.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
All right. The next one, how does the program incorporate ethical decision making and the BACB standards?
Ethical decision making, BACB standards, both really foundational to the
Mhm.
program. As we're looking at the different competency areas, what do we want people to learn? What do we want people to do? There's going to be ethical discussions that are built throughout that. You'll see that one of the first parts we're launching in October is group supervision. It's going to be very discussion based with a lot of ethical scenarios that come up. It'll also be a specific competency and topic area. So we consider that a pivotal skill,
Mhm.
something that is going to help you throughout your career, a skill that you need in order to do other skills well, and something that needs to be revisited often. Like ethics isn't a one and done. We're encountering ethics every day. And the best way to learn about it is to learn from and with each other. So that is what we're trying to set up. And then as far as the BACB goes, like we're going to dot the I's, cross the T's, meet all of their requirements, and not just what they have now, but also future forward. So
Yep.
looking at changes that are coming in 26, changes in 27,
Yep.
and make sure that everything's aligned there. So people are prepared.
Yeah. I like how you spoke about ethics, Jody, and it's definitely one of the I want to say, can I say like my least favorite topics to think about is the ethics? It's
Well,
just
say
so,
more, Jed.
I
Why is it
know.
the
It's
least?
just, it's so convoluted. Like there's so many, it's so nice in so many things in ABA are just like cut and dry. Yes, the baby
Yeah.
happened. No, it didn't. Yes, it's increasing.
Yep.
No, it's not
Black
increasing.
and white.
And then we take, as clinicians, we step into this ethics space where everything is so gray and
Mhm.
there's so many factors to take in, like, did this happen? Did this happen? What did this look like? And I just think that as a new clinician in the field, it can feel overwhelming. I mean, even years in the field, ethical decision making can feel overwhelming. And so I think the
Yes.
sooner that we can put it in front of our, up and coming BCBAs, and the sooner we get more comfortable being uncomfortable with it and
Yeah,
ask questions.
that's a good way to put it. Mhm.
Yeah, it'll just, I don't know, that's a part that I'm really looking forward to, and kind of having the hard discussions and that I think
Mhm.
group supervision will bring,
Mhm.
and letting our BCBA Rise candidates really dig in and find their kind of ethical North Star, if you will.
Yes. Love that. Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about this before, but I'll just ask it as well because there's like a second portion to that is what systems are in place for others to provide feedback and then also track growth. So I
Mhm.
know you talked a little bit about the surveys,
Mhm.
as a measure of success as
Yep.
well, and that will be a form of feedback. But is there anything
Right.
else in the area of feedback that will be systematically in place and then also will track growth?
Yeah. Um, Definitely we'll look for other avenues for feedback. So I talked about the trainee, but we also want to get that from our supervisors. We
Mhm.
also want to get that from our clinic directors. Like, are you seeing the progression in your teammates that you would hope to see as a part of this program? So making sure that everybody that has a chance to influence the program and everybody that is, impacted by it has that opportunity to give feedback.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we'll, look at the data for, um, by growth, do you mean how people are progressing through the levels, or do you mean like getting their BCBA? We're going to look at all of it. Like I think it's just really important. I've always had this mindset around like continued improvement. And so this is not also just a one and done, like, here you go, here's BCBA Rise. It's like, no, let's continue to make it better. So let's look at our data. Let's look at how people are progressing. Are they satisfied with the experiences they're getting? Are they learning what they need to? Are they able to do what they need to do? Are they passing that exam? Look at those trends and how long it's taking. And I think all of that, looking at it repetitively and taking the feedback to see where we can make improvement is going to be really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've developed a tool to really make sure that we are able to track people as they start
Yes.
in a program all the way through. And I think what will be really cool one day, we're all about immediacy, right? So it's like we're really
Yeah.
excited, but we
Yep.
know we can't get it right now. Is the BACB tracks university pass rates
Hmm.
as well, and historically, we have not really done that at Caravel. And now this will allow us the opportunity to see our pass rates at baseline and then also all the way through a new program, right? And see if we are able to, based on what we're doing here at Caravel through the BCBA Rise program, if we're able to kind of change that narrative and change that pass rate, right? So I think that that is a pretty cool opportunity for us as well, to really track that growth and progress people in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. And, and share that information back with people. Like, let them know, like, hey, these people in these programs are doing really well. We're getting a lot of great feedback about this. Like, help people make really good informed decisions too, because we're talking about, their careers, their futures, and, just want them to be as best informed as they can. So I love that, Jess. That data is really gonna help us do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's-
Yeah, and I heard you just say in there, just kind of how we see this evolving over the next, you know, few years and probably even longer than that. And so keeping in mind that, I think the three of us could sit down in a year and we could sit down in 2 years and have a very similar set of questions, and our answers might be different. Some of them might
Mhm.
be the same and we'll feel really good. But it'll be, exciting and to just watch the different iterations I think that we see coming out of Rise. So that kind of leads to our next question. Right now, we might have an answer. It'll be interesting to see what you think, Dr. Jodi, looking future forward, what might be in place. But right now, how does a program support diverse learning styles as well as different backgrounds?
Yeah, definitely. Um, I mentioned a little bit about adult learning principles,
Mhm.
looking into that, we have a lot of strategies from our science as far as teaching goes, but making sure that we are meeting those different ways that people learn.
Learn.
So
Yeah.
you'll see that built in. You'll see visual support for our visual learners. And you will see for somebody that might learn more through like audio, that's where the discussion comes in. Like
Mhm.
able to come to these group supervision sessions, talk about your experiences, gives you that ability to talk about it, but then also get feedback from others and hear what others are doing and saying too. So that audio is definitely built in. The hands-on, absolutely. The work that you're doing with your individual supervisor is taking those topics and putting them into
Mhm.
action. So
Yeah.
there's going to be that modeling, that BST approach that we all know behavioral skills training is such an effective way of teaching. So that's built in. So really trying to make sure that we are hitting all those different areas. And then part of this too, like it's not just for the trainee. Part of the focus for Rise, and that will continue to evolve, and you'll see, is the support for the supervisor. So helping our supervisors
Yeah.
grow.
No.
And so in that, they can be learning too how to be more responsive to their trainee and how their trainee learns and how they can adapt to that. So there's also, it's like growth in all these different levels for the trainee, but also for the supervisor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever envision, and this is going a little bit off script a little bit, but do you envision test prep at all being a part of BCBA Rise eventually?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, we are looking at different resources for that. So it might be a
Mhm.
little early to share, but
Yeah,
yes, that is on the radar because
that's
that's going
awesome.
to help people. Again, that's part of it. That's the
Yeah,
learning side. Like
yes,
you need to have that foundation.
yes,
Um, we want people to, feel ready in all aspects that they can take that exam, they can pass that exam. So part of
yep,
that is test prep.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um, yeah, definitely looking at resources for that.
That's awesome. I think that's a common, and I like to say that nobody likes tests. I haven't been corrected yet. I don't mind tests that much, but I would never say like, oh yeah, I love
Yeah,
test taking. But some people really hate it, and some people
yeah,
just are really uncomfortable with it. So just
yeah,
thinking through, yeah, like the different learning styles, different backgrounds, whatever their undergrad had kind of brought up in them, and they might be like, oh my gosh, I sitting there for a 2 hour, 3 hour exam. I can't remember how long it is.
yeah,
But it's really like it feels like a mountain to me. But we
yeah,
have things in place. We have motion, we're making some movement and getting some test prep things going. I
yeah,
think would make a lot of um our candidates who are afraid to take the plunge and be like, yes, this is what I want to do. I think it would make them feel better. So it's exciting.
Yeah. And I love that too because I had some of my kids earlier on, like I would say middle school, right? Were like um I use that as they always told me how nervous they were for tests, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
and then you start using the words test anxiety, right? And
mhm,
then and I was having several conversations with the school counselors about like test anxiety and all those things. And one of the school counselors to me said test anxiety is really around not feeling prepared. And if that's, the environment that you're in, or, just like the subject that you're studying or the content in particular. And so I think that is part of reducing stress, and test anxiety is by helping them feel prepared. And so I
yeah,
think BCBA Rise is one way to do that. Through the group supervision, like you were talking about, Jodi, through that individual supervision that they'll get, also through the test prep, right? Like feeling as prepared as possible for the exam, all of those pieces together. Not saying no one's going to walk in and feel zero anxiety
You
because
feel
we know that
some,
that's
yes.
not real, but to feel their best walking in
Yeah.
to take that exam.
yeah, definitely. You prompted a thought too, which is it, just talking about anxiety, the test anxiety, but also just those feelings you can have when you're kind of going through a program alone. And what
Yeah.
we're trying to do is create this space that's not it. Like you are part of a cohort, a team of people that are in a similar space to you. So now we're kind of creating a network. So you've got other people you can go to when,
Yes.
you can find a study buddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
other people to go to for questions. You're also creating this network of supervisors, of potential mentors that, can stick with you, not just like right now when you're in their supervision session, but throughout, and they can help you feel prepared, and more resources, more people for you to go to for questions and discussion. So we're really trying to create that community too, and in part of those hopes that it can just kind of calm the storm a little bit, and that you feel prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a good call out when we're thinking about how, a lot of our field is moving towards online school. I mean, there's still plenty of brick and mortar schools, but
Mhm.
obviously,
In my mind, Jen. I was literally thinking that. Look at that.
no. But that's why I think this is really exciting to just think about, like you said, Jody, the cohorts and
Yes.
even though I'm 100 miles from the nearest participant at this university, oh my gosh, there's somebody just across like the river that this Caravel could
Right.
have over here that now they could be my study partner. Now we can go,
Yeah.
on Friday nights, like everybody likes to do, go do some flashcards, some ABA flashcards.
Yeah.
Um,
On a
instead of
Friday for sure. Yeah.
Yes, yep, Friday
Yeah.
night.
Maybe with
And
a few
then,
appetizers and a few other things to
yeah,
make
there
it
we
a little
go.
more
Yep,
fun. But
yep,
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
And then
Totally.
what's even cool about that is then once you both become BCBAs, then you have a BCBA partner. Also,
Yes.
maybe one of you goes
Yeah.
to the other's clinic. Like it's just, yeah, it's
Yeah.
starting some really
Yeah.
cool, I think,
Those,
relationship building.
yeah, those relationships are so important. And to uh, beyond the exam, like you said, when you become a BCBA, like, hey, now you've got somebody to go to, because like in this job, you don't stop learning. We talked about ethics being one area, but I mean, every kid we work with is different. So you are constantly learning. So really having that network of people that even once you have your BCBA that you can go to, I think is really key.
Yeah,
Really, like really a cool part of BCBA Rise.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. All right, Jess, we're probably down to one last question, and
Yeah.
then we'll do a wrap up. Does that sound good?
Yeah. I'm gonna choose one. We had three left that we wanted to ask. We did just talk a little bit about after the program, right? So once you are a BCBA, once you're done with the program, those partnerships, those cohorts, that team building throughout will help.
Yeah.
But do you feel that there are other opportunities for mentorship after? And what does that look like for BCBAs?
Yeah. I definitely do. I think, right now at Caravel, turning to your lead BCBAs, like our BCBAs who are here and with us have tons and tons of experience. They can certainly serve as mentors for you. We also want to build out throughout your experience that you start to get exposure to different roles. So, and really want you forward thinking. Like, again, it's not just about getting that BCBA, but where do you want to be 2 years from now? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Do you envision yourself leading a clinic? Is that something that you want to do? Do you envision yourself really diving into a certain subject area? Is that something you want to do? We want to build out those opportunities for you to get some exposure to, so that yeah, you can seek out those mentors, because I think there's a lot of people available that can serve as mentors, different roles. I talked a little bit about my husband being in HR, but at Caravel, we're all about the people. We have a people services team, like connecting beyond to just the people at your clinic or just the people in your immediate role. So many opportunities is the short answer to your question. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I guess I'm gonna ask you one last question. I know we're running out of time, but I do think that I know, Jen. I do think that maybe some people feel like maybe they're thinking about the next role and what they want to do, but
Yeah.
they feel like there's kind of a cap, like they're looking at their own location,
Mm.
right? And being like, oh, well, we already have enough BCBAs or we already have enough of these. What would you say to people that kind of are looking at that? And they want something, but they also feel like there's a cap to their potential. What would you tell them?
Oh, this is where I think maybe that experience, having seen how the growth happens over the years, is so phenomenal
Yeah.
because I've seen, people who, I don't know if this is going to sound right, but they almost kind of let that inhibit what they're going to do. And then I've seen people be a little bit more open to, let me try a different area, or let me, keep that open mind, and then see those opportunities, then the doors open.
Mhm.
And then people can go and they can thrive in those experiences. And I've seen people come back. Like if it's like a geography thing, I've seen people go and come back. But all of those experiences shape our behavior. So one door closes, another door opens. So I would totally be open to looking at what else is out there. And that doesn't mean it has to be forever, but it does mean that it's going to be an experience you learn from, and something that, just makes you stronger overall as a professional, as a leader, as a person. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, and I feel strongly just watching us all grow and is that the opportunities are limitless. I
Yeah.
think I wouldn't let, something like as of today stop you from wanting like pursuing something that you want to do.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about seeing more and more people take advantage of the opportunities that we're providing here at Caravel and enrolling in BCBA Rise, enrolling for the scholarships, all of those
Mhm.
things. We're really excited about the growth of the teammates and it's awesome. So,
It is. Okay, so next steps.
okay.
We're starting a cohort in October, so that's already in
Yes.
motion.
Yep.
If we have BTs or even seniors, Dr. Jodi, that are watching this and they're like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I wanna
Yeah.
be a BCBA. What should their next steps be?
Talk to your clinic director and we can sign you up right away, because what that will do is we have to make sure there's a match with the supervisor, but it gets the process going. So
Mhm.
we can get somebody connected with an individual supervisor group. They'd be able to join the next session as it starts, but that individual supervision doesn't have to wait. So
Okay.
those signups are rolling. So I
Okay.
would say go for it. Talk to them. We'll get you signed up and kind of go through that process. You do need to be in a
I was
in a
gonna say you have to be in a program,
program,
right?
be in a
Okay.
program, but the
Yep.
scholarship's available right now. So it's
Yep.
like, talk about it, ask the questions, because
Yeah.
maybe you can apply for that scholarship,
Yep.
get going, with the next classes probably in January, or when a lot of grad programs start.
Good
But
start. Yeah.
yeah,
Makes
like,
sense.
talk about it now and we'll
Yeah.
help you get there. You can always reach out to the Clinical Center of Excellence for questions. Like, happy to get you wherever you need to go.
Connected.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's great. Well, this was so wonderful, Dr. Jodi. Thanks for being our first guest on
Thank
Real
you.
Talk.
Yeah,
I
guest
know.
of honor right here. Look at
Yes,
that.
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks,
All
everybody.
right.
We will
Thank
see you
you.
on our next episode.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.